Got gaming habits you feel guilty about? Here's how developers are already helping you change, even if you didn't know about it. We know that there are thousands of things going on in games behind the scenes. Things to make games look better, feel better, and, as it turns out, even things that make you play better. Now, I'm not talking about general user experience improvements here.
There you are.
But the way a game's structure, story, and design can steer us away from bad habits. As players, we tend to hoard useless junk, skip important information, and rely on banks of saves to get us through tough fights. Game devs are clued into this unconscious behavior. And when we're made to stop, we often have a better experience. This isn't about stopping us from having fun, just making sure we get the most out of every game we play. Here are 5 ways game devs get the very best out of us players. Pack rat is the term used for all us players who pick up everything we see and hoard it throughout the game, unable to let go of even the most useless items. Our bags overflow with scraps of metal, wooden bowls, and enough spoons to start our very own cutlery stores. But developers know our hoarding ways all too well, which is why there are so many ways games stop us overambitious magpies from snatching every shiny thing we see. The obvious solution here is limiting inventory, but that comes in many forms. In Skyrim, the weight limit slows you to a snail's pace if you pick up one giant's toe too many. Whereas in Borderlands, you have finite spaces to hoard stuff. So if you're stuck with 2 weapon slots left, you'll have to think carefully before scrabbling through every corpse, collecting your 8th pistol. Some games take inventory space even more literally. In Resident Evil 4, you have to play a Tetris-like puzzle to store items of various sizes and shapes. Just like a regular backpack, you can't fit 4 shotguns and still expect room for all your precious fish. Although, if your backpack can do that, please comment below. Very impressive. When players are faced with this limited carrying capacity, it makes them think before picking up an item. And why is this important? It makes those items special. It gives them a value, and it stops us pack rats from taking everything we can. No, we really don't need that. We've all had that stealthy mission where we were spotted, realized an NPC interaction didn't go as planned, or decided a fight isn't going our way. So we'll just load up a previous save and try it all again to make sure we have a perfect run this time. Most games aren't meant to be perfected, however, so devs have ways to give us the confidence to continue, rather than stop and reload a save. In each game we play, there are different parameters for failure. Some titles have a strict system that allow only one way to succeed, but most are flexible. In Far Cry, for example, there are numerous ways to tackle any situation. Things would have to go seriously wrong to make you even consider reloading, because the emergent chaos of the game is what makes it what it is. Meanwhile, a game like Dark Souls uses autosave to make you play cautiously. You can correct most fatal mistakes you make by trying again and collecting your lost souls. But accidentally kill an NPC and you're stuck with that mistake forever. But it's your game. You'll make it through. If mistakes feel like they expand the world by allowing the player to continue rather than punishing them, we won't be so worried about scumming that save button. Mishaps are fine, as long as we still get to pet Horatio the pig at the end of it. It's not that we're not interested, but sometimes we can't help sprinting past all the beautiful scenery to complete a quest, pick up a shiny new weapon, or train for that all-important boss battle. And often, this means we end up missing the world around us. Even the most dedicated explorers sometimes rely on tactics such as fast travel to quickly finish off a quest. However, most games won't let you jump from place to place without visiting it first. It's a simple, immediate way to help you immerse yourself into the environment. But the tools developers give us can have the opposite effect. Before Arkham Knight, Rocksteady art director David Hego believed detective vision in the Batman games was overused. It's a fantastic tool and makes getting a jump on your enemies a lot easier.
Got it, Doc! I hear any more of your yapping and I'll...
But the X-ray vision also meant you missed the carefully crafted areas around you. Many players would do the whole thing in detective vision. To rectify this, Rocksteady gave enemies the power to stop you using it. It makes you think strategically and interact with the world, rather than blasting through it with X-ray powers.
You'll be okay.
It's a simple tweak that gives us a greater connection with the game world. Suddenly, detective vision isn't a tool we use to make our lives easier, but a choice we have to make as Batman. It's also great for deciding which of your target's bones you're going to break. That's right, all of them. We're definitely listening while we run around during the cutscene, waiting to drive our sword into whatever beast we encounter next. We can work out the controls, E is interact, WASD to move, whatever, easy. Cutscenes are a classic way to get you to sit down and pay attention, but we get annoyed when we can't skip them. And there are even more effective strategies developers use to impart information even when we're itching to get on.
Devil May Cry.
Dante, do you have any idea how many times I've tried to call?
In Bastion, there's a brief opening cutscene, but it quickly switches control to the player.
He gets up, sets off for the Bastion.
Any story and information is then given as a narration of what the player does, centering their experience and enjoyment. So you won't know that falling off the edge of the world doesn't kill you until you do it.
And then he falls to his death. I'm just fooling.
Thanks to the velvety-voiced omniscient presence, there's nothing for us to skip, because details unfold while we play.
And just like that, the Bastion comes alive.
The audio tape is another classic system that lets us keep exploring while listening to important bits of exposition. Metal Gear Solid 5 uses these to magnificent effect. Instead of Codge's famous cutscenes, loads of backstory is contained on cassette tapes, perfect for when you're out in the wilderness. But it gets even smarter. Ever wondered why the bridges between Mother Base's struts are so long? They're almost the perfect length for listening to a cassette as you drive between areas. A very in-game way of telling us what's happening. As the exposition and tutorial gel with the rest of the gaming experience, we as players are less likely to skip. We can't help but pick choices in games that give us the very best outcome. We want that rewarding serotonin boost when things go well.
Drop it, Buster.
However, game developers know that we might actually have more fun if we roleplay, rather than just boosting the numbers on the screen. In the Outer Worlds, every perk you select has a flaw that comes with it. If you use too much health restoring Adreno, for example, you can become addicted, which provides an extra perk point but means you now need a constant supply of it or face diminished stats. Players that want to max out their stats will have to think twice about every decision. So suddenly, it's not about what will help you beat the game, but about what you really want. And thinking about your choices is where role-playing comes in, instead of picking the very best option every time.
Great! I got my wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so I'm all set.
In many Telltale games, for example, you can't even pick a best choice, because there often isn't one. With moral decisions that have negative consequences either way, the player is stuck. So we're forced to pick based on personal ideals and feelings. This makes us roleplay, and stops any chance of creating maxed out superhero-style characters, making these games feel more like our experiences.
Stay back, man! Stay back!
So, those are some of the ways game developers encourage us to be better. What are some techniques you've noticed from your favorite games? And are you guilty of any of these habits? Let us know in the comments below. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and remember to subscribe.
All right.
If you do already subscribe, make sure to hit the notification bell so you never miss when another video lands.